In its efforts to restructure information dissemination mechanisms in Yobe State, the Yobe State government has embarked on the second phase of training of information officers selected from the 17 local government areas of the state. Addressing participants at a three-day workshop, the State Commissioner for Home Affairs, Information and Culture, Abdullahi Bego, described the training as crucial in this era of new media.
I stand before you today to express my gratitude to His Excellency the Executive Governor, Honorable Mai Mala Buni, who is very ably represented by the Secretary to the State Government, for the opportunity to hold this workshop and the honor to lead the effort. Although this is not the first of its kind, this workshop comes at a pivotal tipping point for our state. The year is just beginning. It's a year in which His Excellency the Governor wishes and is determined to make even more impact in the lives of the people of Yobe State. Just look at the 2025 budget that His Excellency recently signed into law, and you will understand what I mean when I talk about the commitment of His Excellency to move this state forward. It's also a year for Yobe, as for the rest of the country, where the economy still struggles with challenges that must be confronted at all levels. This is the period in which we are holding this workshop, and it is a very significant period. It is significant because as the purveyors of information and enlightenment across the state, we are uniquely positioned to intermediate and enhance the relationship between the government and the public by deploying our knowledge and all the tools in our disposal to ensure that the public knows as much as possible about what the government is doing on their behalf across the board, from security to healthcare, education to agriculture, youth empowerment to women empowerment.
Bego expressed gratitude to Governor Mai Malabuni for his common passion in revamping the information sector and urged the participants to pay rapt attention to the facilitators.
If the participants in this workshop are as inspired and as fired up as I am about the possibilities that lie ahead, I could not imagine a better cast of resource persons than we have in this workshop. I hope that at the end of this workshop, participants will emerge as better and more capable information officers, more at home with their jobs, more skilled at it, and more present across all media platforms than they currently are. Finally, I wish to express our deepest gratitude once again to His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Yobe State, Honorable Mai Mala Buni, represented by the Secretary to the State Government, for all the support we receive and continue to receive from the State Government. Support that will surely make us better professional versions of ourselves in the months and years ahead.
The Secretary to the Yobe State Government, Babamalam Wali, represented Governor Buni at the event.
By the Honorable Commissioner, I stand before you to address you on this important day, marking the commencement of yet another training for government information officers with the theme Effective Public Communication in the Age of New Media, taking place here at the Cedars Recreation Center, Damaturu. As we gathered here today, I want to underscore the importance of communication as the cornerstone of effective governance. It is through you as information officers that citizens of Yobe State could remain informed, empowered, and engaged in the developmental journey of our administration. The administration of His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Yobe State, Honorable Mai Mala Buni, COM, recognizes the indispensable role you play, and the Governor is personally committed to supporting you in order to discharge your duties and responsibilities effectively. This training, among many others organized by the state government, is designed to familiarize you with emerging trends in information dissemination and management, in digital media and public relations, to ensure that your work remains relevant and impactful. In our quest to deliver good governance, it is critical that citizens are well informed about government activities. Your work is in highlighting developmental projects in sectors such as health, education, agriculture, and infrastructure fosters transparency and accountability across the state government. As we continue to implement various initiatives aid at improving the quality of life of our people, we urge you to remain steadfast in your mission to communicate these efforts clearly and effectively. Remember, the trust and confidence of the public in government depend on how well they are informed.
The Yobe State government distributed laptops and smartphones to the participants to enable them discharge their duties from their respective local government areas. The SSG assured participants of continuous support and more workshops for improved information services.
Distinguished personalities, participants, ladies and gentlemen, as we move forward, let me assure you that the Yobe State government, under the able leadership of His Excellency Honorable Malabu Nisioyen, remain fully committed to supporting your work. Together, we can harness the power of the media to strengthen the bond between the government and the people, and ensuring that every citizen is informed, involved, and carried along. To this end, His Excellency Honorable Malabu has approved the allocation of 1 smartphone and 1 laptop for each of the participants. However, these tools remain the property of the state government. They are given to you only as means of facilitating and elevating your work. Each allottee is therefore expected to keep these tools safe and use them for the purpose for which they are given to him or her. The administration of His Excellency Honorable Malabudi will continue to find additional ways to support you to discharge your duties effectively going forward. I urge you to make the most of this workshop, exchange ideas, and embrace innovative approaches to public communication.
Ali Musa Yawali is the Director of Information. As the manager in charge of receiving feedback from information officers from the 17 local government areas, he testified that there is significant improvement from the information officers, but not enough to take the state to the promised land.
The SSG, sir, Honorable Commissioners, esteemed resource persons, invited dignitaries and participants, as a person who lays hand on all stories written by the information officers, or rather reports written by the information officers in the state for editing before usage or sharing on various platforms, I can personally attest that from the last training we had here to date, there was significant improvement or progress on how my staff do their job. But the question that lingers is what they are doing enough? Of course, the answer is no. Because as my Honorable Commissioner would always say, the biggest space on earth is the room for improvement. Over the next 3 days, our line of seasoned speakers and facilitators, including our invited retired officers, who have managed information during their years of service, will cover a range of critical topics and share experiences with us. Therefore, the time to pay rapt attention is now.
Some of the participants appreciated Governor May Malabuni for the opportunity to be trained.
Performance as information and public relations officer, and it will expose us to the modern way of public information, and it will also help us in working in the new world of the new media. So it's going to help us a lot because it also exposed us to the law and ethics of public information and public relations practice here in Nigeria. So it has really built our capacity, and we hope that inshallah going forward it's going to help us in performing at an optimal level, especially in the areas of letting the public know about the programs and policies of the government. Thank you so much for Yobe State Government. It has really shown that Yobe State Government, under the current administration of His Excellency Governor Mai Mala Buni, has priority for information officers, because this is not the first time, this is not the second time that a capacity building workshop is being organized for we, the public information officers. And you can see the announcement by the SSU who represented the governor, the donation of new laptop, modern laptop and a smartphone for all information officers. This is to tell you how serious government is about the activities of information officers in the state. So thank you so much for Yobe State Government, and we want to assure Yobe State Government that inshallah we will keep informing the public about the activities and programs of Yobe State Government, inshallah.
Thank His Excellency first for giving us chance and privilege to be always training and retraining information officers in the state. And I also want to appreciate the effort of my Honorable Commissioner for also always supporting us and following up to His Excellency Honorable Mai Mala Buni to be giving us chance of training. At the same time, this training is even more than the one they have been doing to us. And because my reason is because this one, they have invited a lot of our ex-lecturers from various universities to come and train us.
The Commissioner for Basic and Secondary Education in Yobe State, Associate Professor Abba Idris, has highlighted the achievement recorded in the sector under Governor Buni administration in 2024. He noted that embarking on the state education policy project is a major achievement that will change the narrative about education in 2025. He said the state government will tackle the issue of out-of-school children worsened by the decade-long insurgency. He explains how the Yobe education policy intends to address the menace.
One of the best things we did in the year 2024, particularly towards the end of the year, is the work on what we call Yobe State Education Policy. This Yobe State Education Policy is what we have been planning for quite a long time, but it has started in the year 2024. And we believe probably by the middle of this year or before the end of this 2025, that Yobe State Education Policy would have been ready and it will be presented. This policy is going to look at is going to diagnose all the areas, all the challenges of education in Yobe State. So we have started this, and it has been quite a successful program, and it has been going on. We believe to complete it in this year. What we are focusing in the year 2025 is, number one, out-of-school children. You know, one of the major problems we are facing in Yobe State is the high number of out-of-school children, and this is as a result of factors responsible for that. You know, one of the major factors responsible for out-of-school children is insecurity and conflict, and Yobe State has suffered quite a long time. You know, during the Boko Haram insurgency, schools were destroyed, many people migrated and left their hometown, and this has resulted in adding to the number of out-of-school children. So what we are planning to address critically this year is to look at the number of out-of-school children and make sure that this number has been reduced to the barest minimum. This Yobe State education policy is looking at about 5 key areas. Area number 1 is out-of-school children. Number 2, you have school dropout, and then you have teacher training and teacher quality. It means we are going to look at the professional development of teachers. Infrastructure development is another factor, and then provision of all the necessary teaching and learning materials. Without this, education will never be developed. So by looking at the out-of-school children, as I said, because of the factors responsible for that, we are trying to make sure that the number has been reduced to the barest minimum. When you look at the dropout, most of the students dropping out of school, particularly female students, is as a result of sometimes poverty and sometimes maybe due to negative culture that is affecting some of the students. As a result of this, His Excellency Honorable Mai Mala Buni, in collaboration with World Bank, they launched Agile, Adolescent Girls Initiative for Education and Empowerment. This Agile is a program that has been specifically tailored to address the problem of education in Yobe State. Through the effort of His Excellency, we are able to have our action plan and procurement plan approved, where these adolescent girls are going to be receiving some token amount monthly together with their parents in order to encourage them to send their female daughters to school. Another aspect we are looking is also when it's come to the teacher professional development. This policy is also addressing the teacher development because we believe without a passionate teacher, without a teacher that is having a passion for the job, a teacher that is qualified, we believe the entire effort of reforming education will be wasted. So because of this, we are focusing also on teacher professional development as well.
He appreciated Governor Buni for his uncommon passion for revamping the education sector, stressing that the negative perception about education in Yobe will be a thing of the past.
Excellency Honorable Malabuni, when it's come to education development, is for me to tell him that, Your Excellency, your boys are working. Your Excellency, the excellent policy of education is now working. The students will now be happy that they have education-loving governor, that they have a governor who is sacrificing everything for the sake of education. And I'll give you one example. His Excellency has formed what we call Yobe State Education Council. This council is to cut all the bureaucracies of receiving or getting approval. When a file that has to do with education is sent, it will not go through the normal process. There is Education Council, and His Excellency is the chairman of the Education Council. The vice chairman of the Education Council is the deputy governor. And all the people that this file will go to their office are put together in this council. So within a single sitting, a file, commissioner can present a file, the SSG will treat the file, the commissioner of finance will treat the file, His Excellency will give approval will come back, and then a release will be given. Everything will be done within that particular council. This is to show you how uncommon passion His Excellency has for education. This Education Council is a turning point in education in Yobe State. And within some few months, in this year, 2025, everybody will see the impact of education in Yobe State.
The Yobe State Governor, Mai Malabuni, laid a wreath in honor of the fallen heroes who sacrificed their lives for the peace and sovereignty of Nigeria. It was part of activities marking the 2025 Armed Forces Remembrance Day in the state. After the governor laid the wreath, other dignitaries and heads of security agencies followed suit by honoring the memory of the fallen officers and soldiers. Speaking with journalists on behalf of the state government, the special advisor to the governor on security shares more light on the significance of the ceremony.
January of every year. 15th of January is the date the Nigerian Civil War ended, and it is marked as Armed Forces Remembrance Day. It is to remember the fallen heroes, those that have paid the supreme sacrifice for the unity, peace, stability, and tranquility of Nigeria as a nation. And the significance of this event is to encourage those that are alive to put in their best in the service of the nation, so that they know that even if they pay the if they make the supreme sacrifice and lose their lives or any part of their limbs, they will not be forgotten. The country will continue to honor them and support them as is done every year. His Excellency has announced that there will be scholarship for children of fallen heroes who are indigenes of Yobe State, those that have served and paid the supreme sacrifice. And then for those that are able to do one or two things in terms of business, that are included in most of the empowerment programs of the state government.
The Yobe State government has done a lot, has been helping us. It is at the instance of the assistance of the Yobe State government that we have our Hilux, which is now 10 years old. But if you look at it now, as if it is a brand new vehicle. We also have 6 Sharon's buses. We also have, before we don't have office, but now we have office, we have Legion House. So,
What about the widows?
The widows.
How do you intervene?
We intervene them because we establish a training center for them and their children, the orphans. We train them on cosmetics and so on.